everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. We've got a good one for you today. Not so much earwax removal this one, but more a really good skin peel. Now, what you can see in this patient's ear canal, they've come in complaining they're really not hearing very well with their hearing aid. Everything's very, very reduced, very muffled. Now, at first glance, this ear canal looks lovely and clear, but what we can see, if you look really deep, you can see that there's actually quite a lot of what looks like dead skin material just sitting just in front of the eardrum. So what we're going to do here is start peeling away some of this dead skin. Now you can see this starting to lift off the canal wall there as we peel very, very slowly down. Just sheared off just a little bit there. Now this dead skin you can see here is very, very tough. So I want you to imagine a little bit of a skin, like a pull on the side of your nail that's come away and it goes really, really hard. That's what happens with this type of skin here. Now we can see this bottom section, which is down in the anterior recess. So maybe not causing too much of an issue. There's a little bit just going up onto the pars tensor. So the more sort of rigid part of the eardrum, the stiffer part of the eardrum, if you like, that vibrates the most as you pass sound through at the bottom of the eardrum. So it's just lifting from the canal wall up and onto that. But we've got this big section here at the top, which we're just going to pull down now. There we go. So at first glance, this eardrum looks pretty clear. You know, there's skin around the outside edge, but there's something nagging at me, which is why this eardrum looks really, really dull. There's just no light reflex. The color is right though. It just doesn't sit right. So something is not quite going on, not quite right here. So what we're doing here is just slowly pulling these sort of bits of dry skin away from the side of the canal wall. Now we have popped a little bit of olive oil in here, but it's made very little difference to the skin at the moment. Some of it did get all the way down as far as we needed. So when we're putting olive oil in, if we've got, say, a very deep plug, or maybe there's this kind of issue here where everything's right down on top of the eardrum, what we'll normally do is get the patient to tilt away from us as we're putting the olive oil in. That way then the olive oil gets to where it needs to go. Now, see this section here at the bottom? This is what's pulling out of the recess. So as I'm lifting this up, you can see that it's actually starting to go over the bottom of the eardrum. So it's quite a thick layer. Look at it going up the recess there. Always a tough one to do, this one. Ideally, if you're going to do, say, a very, very deep skin peel or an eardrum peel, ideally what I'd always like to have is a piece of skin that's attached from coming out over that recess, because it means that you can get a really good grip, good peel, and you're more likely to take the whole thing out. When it's like this and everything's located down in the recess, it's a really difficult place to get to, because you're kind of working over the top of that ridge there, and you can see how hard it is to try and get a good grip because it's very, very mobile. This skin layer is very thin. Look at that starting to peel away there though, guys, just coming out the recess. So you can see just how thin that is, which means that when you lift it from the canal wall, it becomes very mobile. So when you have the suction tube in there, there's a lot of air moving around, that piece of skin can start flapping around like this. So you can see the olive oil that's gone in there again. Now we've just topped that up again, just to see if we can get it right down to this bottom section. Let's see what happens when we start to pull from the top here. You can see it pulling down from the top of the eardrum. Now, you've got to be careful with this. If that skin is too solid, and it's really adhering to that eardrum, you go pulling that and yanking it too hard without softening it up, and you're going to end up tearing the eardrum. We're going to end up with a perforated eardrum here. So we've got to be really, really careful. You can see I'm lifting from the base. Now that olive oil's managed to sit down in this section just for a little while, which is just enough to just soften everything up a little bit, get everything moving a little bit better. But you can see the peel we're talking about here. It's a blink and you miss it kind of job, this one, guys. It comes up in a few minutes, but you can see as we're lifting here, so we've flooded this ear canal now with olive oil. There is tons of it in here, but watch what happens when we start to lift this. Now you can see it start to peel from the eardrum itself. So there we go. You can see we're just concentrating on getting enough lifted out of the recess so I can get a good grip there. Can you see it starting to peel off the bottom of the eardrum? So what's happened in this particular patient's case is that they've had this very thin, hardened layer of skin that's built up over the eardrum, and that's just really restricted to the movement to the eardrum there as well. So this is why this patient was suffering so badly with their hearing and really, really struggling with it. But you can see just what painstaking work it is to do these kind of these removals. Keep an eye on this top section. I think it's coming soon where this comes away. You can see how it goes all the way down into the recess there. We've got a good grip. It's softened up enough that it starts to peel. You can see it just starting to peel from the eardrum there. There you go, see how it's coming across? It's just layer by layer coming away here. You can actually see the eardrum looking a lot shinier underneath. So we've lost that almost haze. Keep an eye, look at that peeling away there, guys. The whole section there coming away. Oh, it's just, we're just folding everything. We're getting a good grip. We're slowing this down so you can see this coming away. But take a look at that eardrum. Look how that is peeling away. That's brilliant. That's come away from the one side. I don't think that's the big peel we need to see though. Take a look at this next section. We've still got a little bit here. Let's see if we can lift this up. You can see it coming away from that left-hand side, just above that lip that we're working on now. Look how this is starting to peel up the eardrum. There you go. We're just teasing this out of the recess here. There we are. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that peeling away, guys. Look at it coming off the drum. You're going to have to go back and watch that bit again, but you can see the whole, almost like a complete mask of the eardrum coming away there in one big piece. So the whole thing just peeled away. Now, this is the beauty of using an endoscope over some of the other tools you can use for wax removal, is you can really get down there. Now you can see how shiny that skin looks now on the eardrum. So we can see the difference that made. So we could understand, if you were looking in there with some other tools, you may not have been able to get that deep view and be able to see that that skin was over that eardrum. And the endoscope allows us to go in there and peel that effectively. So this is what it looks like beforehand. This is what it looks like after. You can see a very, very different eardrum. Patient hearing, so much better. I actually had to turn the hearing aids down when they'd taken that off, just because they were hearing so much sound. But this is what we removed. So you can see, what are we there? Just under 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to call that, guys. Just over 1.5 centimeters. It doesn't look like a tremendous amount, but my goodness, that was a tough one to do. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget, we're posting new videos Monday through to Friday in October at 9 PM UK time. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.